Hello, everybody. Hello, hope you guys are all doing well. It's Desi. It's been a while since I've been here. Haven't been here for a hot minute. Um, and there's a reason for it. And I'm also excited that I am back here. So, welcome. It has been a while since I have been here with Grow with Desi. You guys know I am a leadership development and a personal growth coach. And so, my goal is to help people get results that they want in their business and in their personal life. So, if this is your first time ever joining me, please say hello. Let me know that you are here, that you are joining me, where you are joining me from. Again, it's been a while. I feel kind of rusty here, trying to get on my bearings and make sure that all things are going well. Um, so, wow, this is kind of crazy. I haven't been here for a while. But nevertheless, you know what? We do what we must do during the times that we need to do what we need to do in order to get to where it is that we need to go, or to learn lessons that God would have for us to learn at the time that we need to learn them. And so tonight's live, I'm not going to keep you long, but tonight's live is called Did You Really Believe You Could? Did you really believe you could? So when I stopped doing live video, that was, gosh, I want to say early September. I believe it was early September. I think I may have popped up like once or twice. But one of the reasons why is because life decided that it would do what it does, and it showed up for me in a very, very big way. And so I decided, you know what, the only way that you can grow and help others grow is if you decide that you're not going to hide under, this isn't the whole this little light of mine thing. You decide that you're not going to hide, you're not going to try to fluff things up, you're not going to try to pretend like everything is just wonderful and great and hunky dory. There's a lot of people that get online and they like to floss. For those of you that don't know what it means, they only show up when things are great. They show up when they've got something big and magical to do. And to be quite honest with you, I've done that. I have done that. I've shown up and, you know, people think that, okay, well, hey, you're doing great. You're doing wonderful. And if I could just tell you guys a little bit about me. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Sharice. What's going on, y'all? Thanks for joining me tonight. Sharice. Sharice is coming to us live from Florida. I love it. Thank you for hanging out with me, my dear. Um, so I'm one of those people. I did that. I would show up every single day. I did this thing called hashtag 100 things exercises for successful living. And I think we made it to like day 75 ish or so. And bam, life showed up. And so, I am one of these people that, as I've been going through my own personal growth journey, when life hits me hard, I like to retreat. It is a gift that I have. I call it going into the cave. I retreat, and you're trying to find your footing. You're trying to find your balance. You're trying to find, you know, you kind of feel like you're standing on a board on the ocean. You're kind of surfing and trying to keep your balance as the waves are trying to knock you off. And uh and so it got pretty tough. And I just think it was kind of ironic that here I was talking about success. Hashtag 100 things, exercises for successful living. things that you and I can do in order to be successful. And when a lot of people think about success, you think about, the big people. You think about, the the Steve Jobs of the world. You think about, the Michelle Obamas. You think about uh, just people that are out there doing it, the big names, the big gurus. You think about all those people. And success has, or we think it has, a certain look. We think that, you know, success is in the grind of doing things. And so you kind of get into this place of just doing things on a rote basis. Now, you might be inspired, you might be enthusiastic, you might have this momentum that you're going at, but when you need more clarity, and the clarity to line up with the purpose of why you do what you do, it can begin to get a little bit rote. Um, and so I ended up going through some really, really faith challenging experiences. Things that, when you guys, no disclaimer here, I am a woman of faith. I believe in God, and I pray, I do all those things. And when there is something that is on your life, the attacks are huge. The attacks are really, really, really big. And when you are a part of the attack on yourself, I want you to let that sink in a little bit. Sometimes we can be the very thing that we are fighting against. And when you're a part of that whole mission, um, there are other things that can happen inside. And so as we're talking about personal growth, and as I'm talking about personal growth, and I'm talking about success, and I'm talking about, the things that we can do in order to be more successful, I was in a huge storm. And so the easy, most logical thing that I thought that I could do was to retreat into my safe place, into my cave, into the space where um, trying to get answers. And when I say that, your faith can sometimes get challenged, I was trying to get answers and the answers weren't coming. I was trying to get answers. And how many of you guys out there have ever, like, talked to God and prayed, and you then shut up and it's still really eerily quiet? Like, there is no words, there's no song that comes to mind. When people come and they're trying to be, encouraging and motivating and holding you up, and you're hearing the things that they're saying to you, but you're just not receiving it well, because the things that you thought that you were asking for, or the things that you were talking about, when you were asking the questions, the answers weren't coming. And so that's just where I was. September, October, November, every single day of the month. And here's the kicker. So back in August, I had an experience that I knew I had heard from God, and he told me very specifically, not specifically, what kind of word is that? Very specifically, Desi, it's time for you to do something. It's time for you to step into the role that I have chosen for you to do. It's time for you to let go of all the stuff that has been holding you back. Let go of unforgiveness. Let go of unforgiveness. Let go of unforgiveness. It's time to forgive, Desiree. It's time for you to release the things that have been holding back all of the what I've called you to, your purpose, so that you can be in better alignment. That's what you got to do. And so here I am, like, okay, you know what? Yes, God, yes, that's what I'm going to do. And so you obey. And let me tell you something. The minute that you get on When the minute that you begin to do the things that God tells you to do, you are a target. And then to add on to that, you do the things that you believe that God has told you to do, the attacks come and you're a part of the attack against yourself. I don't know if that's going to resonate with you. Maybe it's just me, but I'm just going to keep talking and sharing, and if you guys are getting it, great. If you're not, if you know somebody that they might get it, share this broadcast with them. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're watching, and I'm glad that you're listening. I don't take it lightly. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Antoine. Hello, Mary. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me for a little bit tonight. So here I was talking about exercises that we needed to do to be successful. And I did it for 3 months in a row, and I could not think of one exercise during the storm. I could not think of one one tip. I couldn't think of one tool. I couldn't think of, you know, a song to sing. I love music. I love anything creative. I could not think because I was in the storm. And here I was talking about success, encouraging people to do these things, follow these tips to be more successful. The hardest part about the whole thing was that the question that I kept asking myself was like, do you really believe that you can? Did you really believe that? Or did you just drink the Kool-Aid? Huh? You mean to tell me that all this time you've been sharing with people, teaching people, talking about this stuff, and here you are, Desi, here you are in a storm. Did you really believe all that stuff? Did you really believe that you could? Y'all, when I tell you that the voice that you hear doesn't come from the outside of you, it comes from whatever's inside of you. And so even though I had people in my life that were pouring into me very intentionally during the challenges, when I was by myself, when I was in the silence, when I couldn't journal anymore, um, the voice of critique, the one that was the one that would chop me down, was all of the stuff that I had been programmed with from way back when. And I thought that I had gotten to the space where those things were no longer, they no longer had control or power over me. But it's a funny thing. When you get into a storm, when you are in the midst of a storm, sometimes all of the things that you thought that you could, would, and should do, you don't. You don't. So, and it got pretty deep. It got pretty real for me because I will tell you this. Last Tuesday night, or I'm sorry, not last Tuesday night, last Tuesday morning, literally God had been waking me up every single day. And hindsight is always 2020. Every single day my body would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And the same things that I was worried about the day before that I promised that I wouldn't worry about anymore, those suckers still showed up. And they showed up at 4 o'clock in the morning every single day. I'm talking about not having, good sleep. We need rest in order to be creative. We need rest in order to be at our best. And I wasn't getting good rest, but yet here I am. Still got to function, still got to focus, still got to, get out there and do the work and all of those things. And I would show up and then I would go back and hide. I would show up to the job and I would go back and hide. I would show up to an event and then I would go back and hide because it was safer to be in the space where I could deal with my own failure. Get that word. Where I could deal with my own failures and nurse my own wounds than it was for me to be in a space of asking myself the real questions that needed to be asked. So I'm going to share those. I'm going to share just like two of those questions that I had to ask myself. But let me tell you what happened last Tuesday. So last Tuesday morning, I'm awoken. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? I don't know what else to do. So I went literally into my closet, and every piece of anger that I had against God for not answering any questions, everything that wanted to say, every doubt, every fear, every heartache, everything. There was something about the full surrender of pouring everything out. And it wasn't some, type of hocus pocus time or space. It wasn't anything but answering the question, do you really believe that you could? Do you really believe that you could? And I poured everything out. Every possible thing that I could think of that I wanted to say to God, where I thought that he had left me alone, that he wasn't keeping his promises, that the things that I needed for me and my family, that they weren't coming to pass. I'm doing everything that I can. What in the world is happening? Why have you left me by myself? And let me tell you what happened. I got up, eyes swollen, face swollen, and it was quiet. It was quiet. I heard nothing. What do you do when the silence is so great? What do you do when the silence is so palatable, where you can cut the silence with a knife and serve it up for dinner? Most people would get angry. Most people would doubt. I was doubting. Yet there was something that said, just have hope. I'm a believer in hope. I believe in hope. I believe in love. I believe in good things. I believe that things can get better. I truly do believe that. But I was having a hard time believing it for me too, because things had been so silent. So, said everything I wanted to say to God, got up, got myself prepared for the day, and before I had to go to an appointment that had major implications for myself, my family, just things that I've been working for, hoping for, dreaming for, all those things. Before I had to get into the appointment, before I left my house, let me just be straight up. Before I left my house, I asked God for one miracle. Now, if you guys are in my Girl Ask Me Anything community, ladies, if you're not, I highly suggest that you join us, because I'm going to share a whole lot more inside the community. I don't, I'm a very private person, and I truly believe in telling and sharing my story. but that's for the community. So if you're in the Girl Ask Me Anything community, you're going to hear more about this as the days and the weeks go by. Before I left my home, I got a message that something that I had been waiting for had just been approved that was going to add value to my family's life. Before I headed to the appointment that I needed to be at, I got an answer that everything was resolved and we didn't even need to meet. Before I called, I had already been answered. And what I had asked for had already been answered. I believe, what God was waiting on from me was that full transparency, full surrender, fully tell me everything, Desi, that's going on in your heart and in your mind. I want to connect with you. I want to have a relationship with you. I want to be there for you. But see, you've been so focused. You've been so focused on trying to do this your way. You've been so focused on trying to give everybody tips and tools and tricks on how to be successful. But guess what? Until you are fully surrendered to me, the purpose, the potential, the passion, what I've given to you, you need me. But I'm not going to bully my way into your life. Just come and talk with me. And so that's what happened. Prayers are answered. Prayers are answered. There's some of you guys that are on here that have been through the journey with me. And there are some of you guys that are still getting to know me. And so I decided, you know what? Now that I'm on the other side of that, I get to go back to what I truly believe that God has called me to do. And that is to encourage, inspire, equip, to inspire you, to mentor you, to teach you, and to help you live a powerful, passionate, and purposeful life. That is what I am built for. That is why I'm here. So, two questions. And then I'm going to get on out of your way. You can join me each Monday night because this is where I'll be. But the two questions that I had been going through are this. What do you want? What do you want? And why do you want it? What is it that you want? And why do you want it? What do you want? And why do you want it? If you are not willing to give your all to the creator of all things so that he can use all of you, whatever it is that you want and why you want it is lacking. I'm asking myself these two questions. What do you want? And why do you want it? Is it to help just make you better, Desi? Or do you want to truly add value into the lives of other people? So all I know to do is to get real, to be real, to share with you guys different parts of my own leadership journey, my own growth journey, so that you can become better, so that you can be able to answer those two questions. What is it that you want, and why do you want it? It goes beyond building a business. It goes beyond, reaching the masses. It goes beyond making money. How do you want to be rich in your life? I'm going to round it out with this. A friend of mine, as I was going through this whole thing, we had gotten on the phone one night and I was just, I did the ugly girl cry, okay? Just the ugly boo-hoo, the whole 9 yards. It wasn't cute at all. and we're talking, and she said, okay, Desi, here's what I need you to do. I need you to say the things that you were actually thinking about yourself. And as I began to pour out, I mean, it's so easy when we start to look at ourselves, we immediately go to the things that we don't do so well. We go to the things that, oh, well, I need to fix this and I need to fix that. And so I began to go down this entire list, and she just allowed me to pour out. She allowed me to cry and just do all the things that I was doing. And then she told me, now, what are you thankful for? And to sit down and to begin to write out the things that I am grateful for, truly grateful for. It has shifted everything. We hear about gratitude. We hear about, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. I mean, if you do a search of life coaches on the internet, you're going to find all kind of people, everybody saying that they're a life coach and this and that. And you hear about, okay, well, you need to, be grateful for this and show gratitude for that. Let me just tell you this. I decided to share the story that I was experiencing with a private group that I'm in. Private is about 18,000 people. But I decided to share my story. And I decided to share the disappointment. But the way that I did it was different. And I had never done this before. But I shared what I was grateful for in the good, and I shared what I was grateful for in the disappointment. And when the miracles happened, when God answered the prayers before I had even gotten to where I needed to be, I decided to share that story as well. And the response that I received, you don't know how many people need to hear what you are going through so that they can believe that they're going to make it through their journey, that they're going to make it through their trial. It's easy to, do all the stuff, right? To make it look good, all of that. But when I shared that, I was just overwhelmed by the response of people needing to hear and see a live miracle. And to be in harmony with what it is that you're asking God to do for you, and to be in harmony with what it is that you want and why you want it and how it aligns with the purpose that is on your life. Being grateful and being in gratitude, that means that you're already acknowledging what's to come. When I got up off my face after just some things I said to God, I just need to ask for forgiveness because he already knew, but I just needed to get it all out of me. The gratitude is healing. The gratitude, sharing what it is and where you are and why you are where you are. Gratitude shifted everything. It shifted absolutely everything. Gratitude by itself can keep you looking forward to all. God is all. And He has exactly what it is that you and I need. I asked for one miracle. And God being God, he showed up and gave two. So, did you really believe you could? I did not believe that I could. But now I know that he can. And my encouragement to you tonight is to ask yourself those two questions. What do you want and why do you want it? And then to sit down, grab something that you can write in and begin to write down what it is that you're grateful for. Take it, write it down. Physically take your hand and your pen. Take it and write it down. And then begin to say thank you, because when we utilize gratitude by itself, it will shift your thinking, it will shift your focus, it will shift your speaking, it'll shift your heart, and it'll help to open you up so that when the miracle comes, you're ready to receive it. So, did you really believe you could, Desi? I didn't believe it. But if you ask me today, I do. I really, really do. It's not a whole bunch of nothing but being willing to open yourself up and fully surrender. Get it all out so that going into 2020, you're not trying to carry the same foolishness, the same foolery, the same thinking, the same behaviors, the same attitudes. All that crap's got to go. All of that junk has got to go. I mean, let me take that back. It doesn't have to go. It doesn't. You can choose to keep it all with you, take the same nonsense into 2020, and then hope and pray that things get different. You can do that. You have that right. But I'm not going to encourage it. As a matter of fact, one of the Sharice is on here. She can vouch for this. One of our favorite sayings. I've adopted this favorite saying from her. I will not subscribe to your foolery. I will not subscribe to your limiting beliefs or your foolery. Did I get that right, Sharice? I'm no longer subscribing to the thought process and the ideas that got me up until this point. It's time for something new. So as we're heading into 2020, this is just one of the things. Believing the way that we think, knowing what we want, and understanding why we want it, having gratitude and fully surrendering to God. It's a lot, but it's needed. Because there ain't no sense in going into 2020 with the same foolishness that happened in 2019 and in the past. The past is the past. Today starts a new day. So I want to thank you. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize all you guys were here. Ruthie, hello, hello, hello. Ramona, Coach Emmanuel, what's up, my friend? Tanis, hello. Mary. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate that. Men of note, y'all, thank you for hanging out with me. This is a little bit longer than I wanted to go, but I will be doing every single Monday night. We're going to be talking about just some reflection and some inspiration of what I'm looking forward to going into 2020. And there's going to be some really great ideas and just things that I'm going to share with you. We're done with just the rote stuff. We're going to be doing some really good stuff. So the way that you do it, the way that you're going to be able to connect with me even more is that you can join the Girl Ask Me Anything community. And there you will just put at Girl Ask Me Anything in the search bar. There's a couple of questions you can answer. Share it with the girlfriend, cousin, grandma, auntie, friend, coworker, enemy. Invite them. You guys come on in there, and we would love to have you. We've got a great community of women, and I'm just going to be wrapping up 2019 with reflection and looking forward to what's coming in this new decade. So the Girl Ask Me Anything community is where it is at. Now, you can only be you, and you got to be yourself no matter what they say. No matter what they say, you got to be yourself, and that begins with answering the two questions. What is it that you want, and why do you want it? Gratitude. Write down the things that you're grateful for, and just pour everything out to God. Pour it out. He's waiting to hear. That's what I learned. And there's so much more that He wants to do for you and through you. But you got to be clear. You've got to be clear. So I appreciate each and every one of you for coming hanging out with me tonight. Thank you for joining me from, oh my goodness, how cold is it out there, Ruthie? Good grief. So we've got both sides of the East Coast. Boston, and then we've got Sharice up in Florida. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you again very, very soon. I'll see you next Monday night, actually, okay? Take care, and I will talk to you again.